that feeling you get when you're watching the news or doom scrolling current events on social media? That feeling that makes you sit there in disbelief, asking yourself, how could things possibly have gotten this bad? Well, that feeling is the fuel of my research. And I think, at least in part, the answer to this is that there are bad actors everywhere. Bad actors are Trump like figures, people who, for their own independent reasons, seek to undermine and manipulate the information we have access to, and consequently the things that we can know. Now, this is a problem because knowledge affords us autonomy, not only over our decisions and our goals, but over who we are and who we can be as people. Kia ora, I'm Georgia. My philosophy master's thesis investigates how bad actors make us vulnerable through the analysis of three patterns of behavior we see them exemplify. So, what are these patterns of behavior and how do they work? Well, let's take your bad actor of choice. Trump is a good example of a bad actor, but if he's too controversial for you, then pick someone else, like a cult leader, a conspiracy theorist, or an abuser. Here are patterns of behavior you may recognize. The first is monitoring. They watch us, they figure out where we get our information from, who we trust, who we don't trust, and why. Then, once they have this knowledge, they use it in one or both of the following two ways. The first is adjusting. This is where they convince us to adjust the credence we give to sources in our network. They'll get us to rely more on sources they want us to believe and less on sources they don't. The next is restructuring. This is where they convince us to restructure our network altogether, throw away sources we once thought we could trust, and bring in only the sources they feed to us. Now, these behaviours were first introduced by scholars Sullivan and Alfano in a 2020 paper, but their discussions sat in a very conceptual and hypothetical space. So my thesis is bringing it back down to earth. I'm finding real examples of bad actors at play and seeing how these behaviours manifest in the messier, less predictable real world. Not only do I figure out where these behaviours map directly onto the hypothesized system, but more importantly and more infuriatingly, where they vary from the neat boxes that us scholars love putting things into. So, this work is more important now than ever. We live in a world where misinformation proliferates the spaces around us, and it's getting harder by the second to differentiate good source from bad actor. Bad actors who are just running rampant, by the way, in our personal lives, on our social media, all the way up to the most influential leaders of the world. So you may be wondering, how do we fix this? Well, ironically, the clue is in the question, it's knowledge. The more we know about bad actors, the better equipped we are to stopping them from weaponizing our minds against us. Thank you.